Hello, welcome to my channel, the Jimmy Jam Oracle. Today we're doing another tarot card reading for Girl World. Going back to Foodie. And do a Celtic cross. Find out where she's going. What's going on. Celtic cross is a good way of finding out what's going on currently and maybe get a peek into what's going to come. Oh, I have a jumper. There's a Hierophant. The reverse is personal beliefs, freedom, going against the grain, unconventional, foolish, generosity, fatality, unorthodox, hypocrisy, blind faith, and misconception. I think I've gotten this card for her before. I think it's probably the most positive interpretation of her, like going against the grain and unconventional. It does say she's foolish, and whenever like generosity comes up for Chantal, it's always, I believe, from her perspective. Like, I think her taking care of her man is like her idea of being generous. But let's put this guy aside. Maybe the Hierophant will come into play later. Let's continue the shuffle. And we ask the spirits to help us out today, and we welcome them just like I welcome you. And let's get to it. Okay, so although the first card is supposed to be present position, or it's supposed to represent the questioner, so it's funny the Hierophant came out first, but let's just continue. Okay, so in her present situation, it says it's the Three of Pentacles. It says teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. Okay. And this card is always really interesting because it's a card I often get for Chantal and always associate it with her and Salah. So it says that there's teamwork, some collaboration, building something. So Pentacles tend to be about financial, money, sorry. They tend to be about money. So this teamwork is, I usually read it as like it's towards the channel. Like they're doing things towards the channel, which actually, yeah, I would say so. I mean, he took her to the KFG for content. So I said that's a pretty accurate representation of what's going on currently. Let's move on to obstacle. Sits across the questioner. So strength. I've gotten strength as an obstacle for her before, and I'm not 100% sure. But it says courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influence, inner strength, focus, and compassion. Like, the only way I can see this being an obstacle, or like these are things that perhaps she lacks. But like, we have to look at strength. Like, some people see strength as being a positive thing, and then some people might see it as a negative thing, especially when we're talking about the persuasion and the influence part. Like, yeah, you can persuade people and be influential in positive ways, but that can also take a negative note, and perhaps that's what it's representing. Like, I do think Chantal can be very persuasive when she wants to be, and I don't think she uses it for good. So it seems like the obstacle that's coming up between the teamwork is Chantal herself, and probably her controlling behavior. I think that's what that's trying to represent. We move on to the third card. It's the goal or destiny card. It also can be what the questioner is currently thinking about. And what do we have? Oh, we have a candle about knocked over. Okay, we have the Six of Swords, but it's reversed. I don't know if I've ever gotten it reversed for her. It says personal transition, resistance to change, unfinished business, and emotional baggage. Cool. And this is a card I do often get for her, but it's usually right side up. And I get it. It's a movement card. And I usually get it whenever I ask, like, okay, is she leaving Kuwait? Is she leaving Canada? I might have gotten it when I asked if she was leaving Syria. So it's just funny, we get this card and it's reversed. So it would actually like if this card is representing her leaving and it's reversed, it could be representing like her want to stay. Because it also says resistance to change. Like she doesn't want to change. She wants to stay in Syria. And even though like I think she's miserable there, I do think she is desperate to stay there. All right. Let's continue with our read. We move on to a distant past foundation. So what has influenced the current situation? We have the Knight of Wands. He's reversed. It says passion project, anger, scattered energy, delays, and frustration. Okay. Passion project. So the channel, I would imagine. Or passion project, perhaps her marriage. It also talks about being scattered. Like talks about scattered energy. And it's funny because we started the read with teamwork. Like together. Building something. And this one's talking about being scattered. And frustration. So perhaps maybe the separation from her husband, maybe this is what this is representing. So being separated from Salah is probably one of the driving forces between like this resistance to change up here. Yeah, she's left once or a couple of times, and she does not want to leave him. Girls of girl world do not leave their partners. We move on to the fifth card, is recent past events. So what's happened recently to influence what's going on? Ooh, we have the Two of Swords. Says difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, and deadlock. Okay, so difficult decisions, definitely. Like she says, she's struggling to find a way to stay in Syria. Or even like the difficult decision to go out there. And even right now to stay. Like I said, she's miserable, but she's determined not to leave him. It also is an avoidance and deadlock, which I think is pretty. I don't know. It's pretty on par with like what's going on. Like I do think she avoids the issues that she really doesn't want to face. So like so you see the figure in the picture with the blindfold on and holding the sword. So it's someone who's defensive but can't see their opponent. So it's like she knows she's on the defense, but she's refusing to see the truth. Yeah. All right, so we move on to the future influence. All right, so who is our future influence? Oh, another pentacle. Seven of Pentacles, it is reversed as lack of long-term vision, limited success or rewards, work without results, and distractions. I feel like I've gotten this for her before, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I've gotten it before. I'm just not sure if it was for her. All right, so it says lack of long-term vision. I think so, like that as well. I think Chantal is very impulsive, which actually might tie into the Hierophant here, where it's talking about going against the grain, unconventional, foolish. I do think that that's a part of her personality where it's talking about lacking the long-term vision. She's very impulsive. And it's funny because now that I'm looking at the card again, it says blind faith. And here we have a card with a blindfold where, the person's blindfolded. So, yeah, the spirits are saying she's blinding herself to her situation. Work without results. I get that a lot, though. Work without results. And I do think Chantal thinks that she is putting in the work when she goes out and she does the content and stuff. And then I think she gets really frustrated when it's not bringing in the viewership that she's expecting it to. Scoot this just a hair. All right, so we move on to the seventh card. It's just about the questioner. It's just a card for Chantal. Oh, we have the Chariot. Movement. All right. Movement, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, departure, and courage. Talk about leaving. Talk about movement. So again, like another movement card. So up here we have a movement card that's reversed. So I think that's supposed to reflect her her desire to not leave. But it seems like the Chariot is saying, no, it's like she knows it's going to happen. She knows she's leaving. It also talks about control. Control is another big girl world word I get. Because I do believe she wants control and needs it and believes that she has it. So we go through here, her obstacle. But remember, the obstacle is in relation to the teamwork. I do believe it's in relation to her and Salah. Is even here on the side, it says power, strength, and control. So I think her need for control is one of the things that's messing up what she has with Salah. We move on to environmental factors. So it's a card, it's like an outside influence card. So it's something that's happening on the outside of Chantal. Who do we have? We have the Nine of Swords. It says anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. I think this is how people are seeing her right now. Because remember I said that she looks miserable on camera. Even though she says, oh, it's not so bad. And, she's trying to put on like that brave face. This is how people see her right now. Like she has anxiety, the fear, the depression, the hopelessness, even the trauma of being out in Syria, the despair. Like this is how people are seeing her right now. And, I believe it, to be honest with you. All right, so we move on to the 9th card. Okay, so this is her inner emotion. So this could be a fear or a secret wish that she has, but it's deep, 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 deep. Oh, it is the 3 of Swords. It is heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, and depression. Yes, that is her ultimate fear, is divorce. I really do believe that. Because like I said, the girls in girl world do not leave their partners. They do not leave their partners. So Chantal finally getting the ring, finally being married, it's like an ultimate like girl world dream. To be tied down to a man in like this legal and seemingly permanent way. The divorce would be a nightmare. It really would for her. So I really do believe that's something she is terrified of. And we move on to the 10th card. It is the final result, the outcome card, everyone's favorite card. What do we have? We have the 6 of Cups. It is reversed. It says living in the past, forgiveness, lacking playfulness, moving forward, leaving home, and independence. Leaving home and independence. Independence is also a big Chantal word we get around here. And anytime it talks about independence, I believe it's talking about Canada. If it talks about moving forward, another movement card. And it says living in the past. It could be the spirit saying, okay, she's going to a place she's been before. In which case, well, it could be Thailand. It could be Canada. Is that it? It might be. She's definitely not going back to Kuwait. She's not doing that. But yeah, I would say definitely she's going somewhere. Where she's going, I'm not sure. But the spirits seem to think that she will be on the move soon. Well, even she's admitted that she will be on the move soon. But let's put these aside. And I want a little bit more clarity on this card before we end today's read. If the spirits will have anything to say about this 6 of Cups, spirits, please let us know. Any more about Chantal's future? Any info you can give us would be greatly appreciated. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, I do have a jumper. Oh, I get this one a lot for her, too. The working parent card. The Queen of Pentacles. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, there we go. It says nurturing, practical, providing financially a working parent. Definitely, I do believe that. The nurturing and the practical part, not so much, but definitely the providing financially is the big one here. So spirits say wherever she's going, she will be providing financially, or that's what she's currently doing right now. Thank you, spirits, for that. I thought we were missing a card. Oh, let's go ahead and draw our 3 spirits. Thank you. See if the spirits have anything interesting to say. We have more pentacles, and the Fool. It's funny, we're getting a lot of pentacles, so it seems like something's being financially driven here. So we have the 6 of Pentacles. It says giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity. Again, charity is a big word for Chantal, but that's just because I think Chantal sees what this, like, providing financially as being charity, you know, for her husband. And then we move on to the 4 of Pentacles. It is reversed. It says greediness, possessiveness, stinginess, overspending, and self-protection. All could be good Chantal words, to be honest with you. The overspending, possibly on Salah. The greediness, stinginess, you know, she's always looking for good deals. Then talks about possessiveness. Now, this possessiveness is, I think, like a financial, like greediness, like a financial possessive. But I honestly feel like the possessiveness goes under the control that she feels like she has over Salah. I really do think she thinks her financial control is like an overall control. Like she can buy his love. Then we have the Fool, who is reversed, says holding back, indecision, hesitation, reckless fearlessness, bad choices, and risk-taking. Bad choices and risk-taking, definitely Chantal. And then it's funny that we have the Fool show up, and here we have the Hierophant, who's one of the keywords is foolish. So I think it's the spirit saying that her bad choices and her risk-taking is making her look like a fool. And they're not wrong. There's lots of reaction channels in Girl World who seem to share the same opinion. Opinions, not facts, remember? All right. Well, remember, we thank the spirits for helping us out, just like I thank you for joining us today. And I hope you have a great day.